What's up, guys? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be looking at Arceus V-STAR, comboing that together with a couple really fun Wallmons. So, Alolan Vulpix V-STAR with its Snow Mirage attack, making it so it cannot be damaged at all by any Pokemon that has an ability, pretty much walling most threats in the game at the moment. And then outside of that, we're also running Noivern EX. We got to see how strong the Noivern EX can be in the past, where pretty much it completely shuts off things like Iron Hands and all the different forms of Ancient Box decks and things like that, just by hitting it for 70 damage over and over and over again, making it pretty easy for us to KO our opponents and stay safe. The way that we're going to go about utilizing this is a mix of a lot of different supporter options, because we're really focused on just making sure that Arceus is available as fast as possible. We can use this card where pretty much we can search your deck for a card that has no ability, or a card that has no ability and evolves from one of your Pokemon. Put that Pokemon into play and evolve it, shuffle your deck. You can use this card on a Pokemon you put down, even if you were setting up. So what's really, really good about this is that one of the weaknesses of this deck is you aren't able to evolve into Alolan V-STAR fast enough, or you're not able to get into your Arceus V-STAR. We'll be able to do that really, really consistently here. We also run Mist Energy to make sure that we're not getting KO'd by any shenanigans from like Frenzied Gouging, anything like that. We're also able to utilize V-Guard energy just to keep ourselves a little bit healthier on our Arceus if anything were to happen. But yeah, we also run Lost City just because it can really cripple our opponents. If they find any way to attack into Alolan V-STAR, we knock it out with the Lost City down. It goes away. We don't have to worry about them getting it back from their discard pile or anything like that. So yeah, that's the list, guys. Definitely let me know what you think. It's pretty simplistic. We run Turos just to be able to pick up our Arceus or our pieces again, just to be able to reset everything. We run a lot of one-ofs, so like we run the one-of Judge, we run the one-of the Eri, and stuff like that, just so that way we have the utilization for them later on. But yeah, a lot of pieces here, but it all kind of comes together very smoothly. So definitely let me know what you think of the list, guys. I've been having a lot of fun with this deck. Been playing just a lot of like counter wall style decks lately for some reason. I don't know why. That's just kind of become my style right now. But yeah, I will see you guys in game one in a moment. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'm recording this the day after the exam recording. And so I still don't have access from Limitless yet, but I should have it soon, probably sometime in the next couple days. So we're trying to get the schedule. We're trying to get the tournament scheduled for June 1st, which is a Saturday at 7 o'clock for the community, just so that way we can get community tournaments started. So be sure to join the Discord. We're discussing that a lot in there, and just going over decks, looking for games, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to join that. And yeah, thank you all for the support, and I will see you guys in game one in a moment. Peace. Alright, we're into game one. Our opponent's going to be going first. We'll see what we open here. We open pretty well, actually. We'll be able to drop the Arceus and the double turbo. We are against Chen-Pao, which means that not only will they'll pretty much have no answer for our Alolan V-STAR or Alolan Vulpix V-STAR, which will be pretty huge. Like, that's going to be pretty great for us. They seemed pretty stuck, so it's nice that we're going to be able... Oh, had a hiccup there. We don't really need to Iono here, but I think it's for the best, since we kind of want to get through as many cards as possible to make sure that we're guaranteeing we wanted to make sure that we're guaranteeing our Vulpix V on the following turn. So we can go ahead, throw all the energy we want right there. This will be powered up because we can drop our V-Star on the following turn. We'll be able to retreat out the Arceus V and kind of go from there and start attacking. Interesting that they run the Totodile. Are they doing like a half Feraligatr build or something? Like Feraligatr is like a backup attacker or something? I don't know if that's good, but it's certainly very interesting. It's interesting also that they're playing like the What are they playing? What is this deck? This just got really complicated for no reason. Because they have the Feraligatr, then they have the Pidgey, and then they have the Palkia V Star. There's a lot of like evolutions going on. We'll go ahead and retreat out the Arceus. We'll look to pick it up later. We'll go here. We can drop the Lost City for now. And then we really don't need any of this stuff anymore. So we can go ahead, research all this away. We'll drop the Mist Energy. We'll drop the Mist Energy real quick. And we can go ahead and Snow Mirage. The Mist Energy doesn't really matter, but it's just there's really no point to not have it, I guess. And then what we'll be able to do here, Rare Candy onto the Pidgeot. So I mean they're making everything pretty quickly for whatever that's worth. We'll probably just end up judging here at the end of the turn anyway. Because honestly, if we're just able to pick up Arceus, then we're pretty much safe because they won't be able to like boss around and like move around our Vulpix. I find it weird they didn't make this I'm surprised they didn't make this Ninetales. Like, it's interesting they went like Alolan Vulpix and then Alolan Vulpix V-Star rather than making it like the Ninetales. Yeah, so them picking up the Arceus KO here is like what I was trying to avoid, but unfortunately that just is what it is. But it's not that big a deal because again, we're gonna be in the same outcome. And right now they have nothing that can damage us. Well, that would have been nice. Actually, we'll go ahead and Colress real quick. We don't need any of this, honestly. We'll take the boss and the Iono. The boss may be nice in case they go and look for some sort of play. With something that actually can do damage to us. I don't think there's anything in their deck that really can. Like, this matchup into Chen-Pao is so strong because of the fact that there's really nothing in their deck that can even remotely affect us in any way. In this case, it's weird because they're running this Crocodile situation. And so, you know, that could theoretically be an issue. But I don't really foresee this being an issue. Because as soon as they evolve into Feraligatr, they're worthless. There's Frigibax. I don't know what good that'll do them at this point. They're playing a lot of like evolutions and cards in this deck that I really don't think are that great. I guess they could try to just like whittle us down. With Crocodile for an extremely lengthy period of time. We'll just go ahead and put the damage down on the Pidgeot here. And then they'll probably retreat it. But we'll just boss it back up, get the KO, and then on the following turn, then we can judge, because they'll be stuck. The main reason why we haven't judged or like Iono'd or anything like that is mostly because of the fact that Pidgeot is just going to be able to grab them like a research or whatever it is they're looking for anyway with quick search. So going for the judge isn't going to be helpful. But once we can clear this, and now that they let us put damage on it, it's going to become a lot easier. We're still at 210 health. There's an Irida. If they evolve into Feraligatr, they can't do anything to us. If they evolve into Baxcalibur, they can't do anything to us. Alright, so that's another threat off the board. The hit and run style deck using Feraligatr and the reverse thrust attack is actually really interesting. I built a deck around it a long time ago, but like when the set first came out, but I never actually did a video on it. Let me know if that's a deck you want to see. I can like rebuild that. Because the way that it works is that you utilize cards like Mimikyu and things like that. So it's like it's like a hit and run like wall style strategy. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and boss. Pull the Pidgeot up. Go ahead and attack that. We'll take our 2 prizes. We also have the medicinal energy if we really want to. And just heal 30 damage from ourselves, which, you know, pretty much negates an entire turn. But, yeah, so pretty much the way the strategy works is you utilize the reverse thrust attack, but you have Feraligatr. Since you can use Feraligatr's ability, make this hit for a lot more than 30 damage. And then you get to jump back to the bench and then put like Mimikyu or something like that in the active. Kind of wall your opponent, switch back in, do the same play over and over, like a hit and run style strategy. And it's actually really fun. So definitely let me know if that's something you'd want to see. I can rebuild that deck for sure, because it was a lot of fun. It's not the best way to play the strategy, in my opinion. Yeah, our opponent's just going to concede. I think they figured out that there was no way to win. Definitely an odd deck from our opponent. Not the best for sure, but also, even if they were playing like regular Chen-Pao, there's not really a way that they can do anything to us. Pretty much every single card in their entire deck has an ability, so there's nothing they can do. Which makes it really, really good for the meta right now. We have a great Chen-Pao and Charizard matchup, so yeah, this deck actually like counters really, really hard. But yeah, we'll go into game 2, and I'll see you guys there in a moment. Peace. All right, we're into game number 2. We are going first. Our opponent won the coin flip. We open our Alolan V-STAR, or our Alolan Vulpix V, rather. We're not in the greatest position, but we will be able to evolve, place the double turbo, so honestly, things actually aren't that bad. We'll be able to Iono after, or we can actually hold the Colress experiment. We'll have to see what they do. The benefit here is that Charizard actually doesn't really have anything that can attack into us. And so we'll be in a pretty good spot. Like, honestly, we may be in a position that we don't even want to place anything down onto our bench. Just because they're going to try to utilize it to, like, boss things around and, you know, like, move pieces. Yeah, so I think we would actually be totally fine not playing anything. Since they'd have to utilize things like Charmeleon in order to in order to like get anything going. So we draw. We can go Vulpix V here. Drop the double turbo. We'll go ahead and Iono just to like hand disrupt, just to do it. There's really no reason not to. Cool. So then what we can do is we can Nest Ball. There's our other V. And then we can drop our V-Star, same, you know, similar play after. Snow Mirage. Take the knockout on Cleffa. Take prize card 6. Nest Ball. Not that we need it. Yeah, the game should be pretty much over. The only thing that... Alright, so... Technically speaking, what could happen is, like, they could boss up the other one and, like, go for the knockout there. I guess technically the best play to do is to just keep this on the bench, just as it is. Or just keep this in the active and not have my bench at all. But I want to build the backup just in case there's something that they... some sort of play they go for to get around me, just so that way I have a potential pivot. Alright, so they're going to go for, like, de-evolution plays. Which isn't really going to make much of a difference, to be honest. Okay. I'm curious to see what it is they're gonna like try to do. So they can go Pidgeot. If they, I mean, going Barrel here wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess, just to give themselves like more cards to try to work with. Yeah. Try to draw themselves into some pieces. But again, I really don't think there's too much they're going to be able to, like, actually accomplish. Since we just opened straight Vulpix, there's not even much they can, like, boss around. Because one of the easiest strategies to, like, get around Alolan Vulpix is... What they can end up trying to do. So we'll place this down. We'll place the double turbo onto it. We'll go ahead and just knock this out. One of the things that they could potentially try to do to bypass the effect is you can Prime Catcher either, like, you know, the one in the bench, start attacking that. But let's say this was like a like an Arceus, right? Because it's not gonna matter. Because even though they knock this out, we just bring the other one in, and like kind of go from there. But let's say this was in Arceus, right? What you could do is you could Prime Catcher the Arceus into the active. That would turn off the effect of Snow Mirage for the turn because it's now pushed onto the bench, and then you would use your boss's orders to pull it back into the active. And then you could knock it out there with Charizard. Since its effect wouldn't be active at the time. Iono, that's totally fine with us. We're really just looking for a water energy. Cool. So they're just going to try to like whittle us down with like Charmanders and Charmeleons, I guess. Or not. Or they're just using that to accelerate the energy onto Charmeleon. But that won't work because Charmeleon is ability based. sure what the play here is. Do we want to just boss up the Charmander now? I don't think it matters. It sucks that this is going to be a 3-hit KO. But, you know, slow and steady wins the race, I guess. They're going to boss up the one in the back. Guess we could have seen that coming, but, again, it doesn't really matter. Because then we're just going to get into a position where there's nothing for them to really utilize. There's a Blazing Darkness for exactly 240. We will bring our V-Star back into play. No, we just won't play anything down. It was like, you know, probably not the best idea to even have that on the board, especially when I was in the position that I really didn't need to have it. But at the same time, it's like kind of nice to have, just in case of like shenanigans. But it is what it is. I give up one, not the biggest deal in the world. We give up some items, not really important. None of those will really be relevant. Since the choice band's already out of the game, which is the only thing that really could have helped really potentially amp damage. Turn the heat tackle, you know, to be not really a threat by any means, but something, I guess. Yeah, this game's pretty much over at this point. There's not much they could really do from this position. And I don't know if they realize that yet. But, I mean, we'll see. This is why Alolan Vulpix is so strong in the meta right now. It's like Chen-Pao just loses. Pretty much Charizard EX just loses. There's a couple decks that aren't that bad. Honestly, Miraidon is actually not that bad of a matchup for Alolan Vulpix or like this counter strategy. You get walled by Noivern, so I mean that kind of sucks for the Miraidon matchup, but it can play like semi-outs. So yeah, I think they're just gonna try to attack me down with Charmander, I guess, is gonna be their play. So there's another 30. We got plenty of health to go. We can Colress experiment here just for fun. We'll take the Lost City, the Vacuum, and the Double Turbo. Why not? We'll play the City just for fun. We'll go ahead and attack down the Charmander. Knock that out and remove it from play. Take one more prize card. An Arceus, that's kind of cool, I guess. We can always boss this Charizard back up, so really we're just going to knock out whatever the next thing is. I mean, the Roxanne's annoying, but not really that big of a deal. Oh, cool, a Judge. We're just going to whittle everything down. We will KO the Charizard in one hit since, you know, we hit for weakness, so that's kind of nice. Honestly, Gardevoir is kind of an annoying matchup, actually, to face. Since they can kind of bypass either Vulpix or Noivern, depending on whatever like kind of thing you have in the front. Because like if they have Noivern, then they just go Gardevoir EX and just like 2-hit you. Or if they end up, or like if you have Vulpix in the front, then they can just use most of their cards, whether it be Scream Tail or Drifloon or whatever, and then just get past you that way. So it's pretty annoying. That matchup kind of sucks. And another one that can be a little bit difficult is actually going into... We'll judge here for fun, why not? The other matchup that can be a little bit rough that's super common right now, we'll throw the V-Guard on, because why not, is... Why am I blanking on the name of the Pokemon? Steel thing. Steel type with Metang. Dialga. There it is. Dialga is actually kind of a really annoying matchup as well, because of the fact that it does enough damage that it can, like, you're not safe with just having Alolan Vulpix in the active because it doesn't have an ability, so it just, you know, dumpsters you that way. You can't really wall it with Noivern either. Alright, cool. Our opponent finally surrendered. They were just playing out the long game for kind of no reason. But yeah, that's why this matchup is, like, if Charizard doesn't tech for it, pretty much unwinnable. It's really, really, really hard. But yeah, we'll go into game 2, and I will see you guys, or game 3 rather, and I will see you guys there in a second. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 3, and we'll see what our opponent's playing in just a moment. We open Arceus with a double colorless with an Arceus V-Star, so that's pretty good for us. Definitely can't complain there. We'll see what our opponent's playing, though. Hopefully soon. What is our play going to be? So, I think, you know, our play for turn 1 is extremely straightforward. There's pretty much nothing we can do. So we'll just go ahead and slap the double colorless down and pass our turn. And then on turn 2, we'll place the Arceus V-Star down. We'll place the Water Energy onto the field. Hopefully we'll have an idea of what our opponents are playing. It looks like Charizard again. Which is good for us, because, I mean, that's what we're kind of, like, hoping to run into. And from there, we'll probably just use our Arceus V-Star power to grab ourselves the Alolan Vulpix. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to grab ourselves the Alolan Vulpix. And... Alright. So we'll Starbirth here. Grab ourselves the Vulpix. And we'll grab ourselves Lost City. So we'll play down the Vulpix. We'll play the Lost City. And then what we'll do is we'll boss up the Charmander. And we'll Trinity Nova. The reason why we want to go for this is A, this way we get all the energy onto our Alolan Vulpix. We have to attack in order to get the energy onto it. So if we're going to attack, we may as well deal with something that could be the biggest threat. Putting it into the Lost Zone is obviously super valuable for us. It just means they have less Charmanders to work with. But more importantly, that right there, the rare candy could have been a huge problem for us, because let's say they already have Charmander on board, right? They rare candy, let's say they double rare candy, so they go Pidgeot EX and Charizard EX. They could, in theory, just boss, pull Vulpix up, knock it out immediately, and then we just like lose the game. So we may as well boss there just to guarantee the knockout on the thing that could potentially be like the biggest threat to us. And then also obviously like Lost City is just kind of really helpful. What we're really hoping for on our on the following turn though is we want to be able to Professor's Research into our Alolan V-Star. That's kind of like the biggest priority at the moment. So using Quick Search. So they use that to clear out the Lost City. That's totally fine for us. We could also Iono. That wouldn't inherently be bad for us either. Especially after the instant charge. We don't really need a Nest Ball. Yeah, I think we're gonna Iono here. Keeping the Turo and stuff like that is still nice. The Ultra Ball is huge. We won't need the research anymore. Boss and Turo is pretty much all we need. We can grab ourselves our Vulpix V. Or V-Star rather. We can go ahead and just retreat. Bring in our Vulpix and Star Mirage, or Snow Mirage rather, and start to attack the Rotom V. And then on the following turn, we're just going to Professors to pick up Arceus. And that'll be pretty much the game. The biggest threat right now is the potential for like a boss into Prime Catcher combo. But we should still live. Unless they go like absolutely cracked out and then they do like boss, Prime Catcher, and like Defiant Belt. That would be absolutely crazy. But they already played Arven, so that's not really a worry anymore. Though they do have Vercandy Choice Belt. So that could be a problem for the Arceus itself. This is definitely going to be an evolution into Charizard EX. They could potentially be looking for like a counter catcher, knock out the Arceus, get some prize cards, see if that'll free them up a little bit. But if that's the case, then that just kind of works out for us. And then all we want is a Mist Energy on the Vulpix, just in the... I doubt, like, I heavily doubt that they're running Mew also, but Mew can genome hacking the Snow Mirage and do a bunch of damage to us, so we want to make sure that we're able to get past that. If we can find our other copy of Lost City, too, and knock out the Charmander, that would mean they'd only have, like, one left to work with, right? Because we got rid of one, that would be two. Yeah. But I highly doubt they're playing Mew, because pretty much no one in Charizard plays Mew anymore. Since it's just kind of like a bench liability, especially with the weakness to Charizard, so it makes your mirror, like, way worse. And you don't really need the search from it either. Looks like they're going to give up Manaphy. We for sure Turo's here just to pick this up. But after, I think we just kind of attack into the active. There's no reason to really do anything else. There's an instant charge. Ultra Ball's fine. We will pick up the Arceus. And from here, attack into the active. We have the boss, so we can always pull up this Rotom if we want to knock that out later for 2 prizes. There's another Arceus, not very important. Temple of Sinnoh and Charizard's interesting. I mean, it's obviously nice for the Lugia matchup, but outside of that, I don't really think it's as important. Yeah, our opponent's going to concede there, so that's going to be it, guys. Hopefully that shows the power. Like, if you can get... If you really, really, really hate Charizard, and that's like your... I need to beat Charizard, you know, that's the matchup I hate more than anything else. This is kind of the deck for you. Prioritize just getting Alolan Vulpix in the active. Don't build a bench. Don't do anything else. Just prioritize Alolan Vulpix alone in the active. And if you can have that, in most matchups, you just straight up win the game. Don't be, you know, don't feel the need to have a bench. You really don't need one. It actually is more of like a liability. Same thing if you're in a matchup where Noivern is like your key to victory. So like against Ancient Box or Future Hands or something like that. Put a Mist Energy on it, sit it in the active, and remove your own bench by picking it up with Turos or whatever. Because that's your way to victory. There's literally nothing a good amount of the decks in the format right now can really do to you outside of, like I said, like Gardevoir's kind of a hard matchup. Things like Miraidon can be slightly iffy, but not really, because you can, for the most part, utilize Noivern to get past everything. But yeah, it's like Gardevoir's really your weakest point, and Dialga can be a little weird too. But outside of those two, there's really nothing else that you have to worry about. So yeah, the Alolan V, like the Arceus, you know, Alolan V-Star counter deck is so powerful. And I highly recommend giving it a try if you're trying to climb the ladder, or if you're doing an event and you're just like, I just want to beat Charizard. If that's your goal, like if you want to have a great Charizard and Chen-Pao matchup, then play this deck. It's phenomenal. Maybe one of the best like direct meta counter decks in the game right now. So yeah, give it a shot, guys. I will see you guys all in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate it. Be sure to join the community Discord, and I'll be reaching out to Limitless TCG soon to try to get my permissions for the tournaments, because my request is still pending. But yeah, I will see you guys all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know what you want to see, you know, in the next videos, and peace out.